along with my co-host Alexa Zappia. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So we have a lot going on. So I understand you took some questions from audience members.
From Instagram.
Yes.
So we did a Q&A the other day.
Brilliant.
On questions that people just wanted to ask you and wanted to know. So one of them was, is there really time on the other side?
That's a great question. The answer would be no. There's no such thing as time the way we perceive it. We're linear, so you know it's 1, 2, 3. But on the other side, there's no such thing as time like that. So when you're on the other side, typically you feel like you're always in this great zone. And for me, as a psychic, because I'm always going back and forth into that realm, I sometimes, as you all know, lose track of time.
Do I know? Do I know?
Oh wait, when did that happen? I thought it was yesterday. It was 5 years ago. So
do I know? Yeah. So like when you read people, you always say you get information from those on the other side. But what about like the future stuff? Does that come from the other side? And if so, like how, if there's no time on the other side, how do they know that it's future or that it's past or that it's present? Like how does that work?
That's a great question. Well, because I'm both a psychic and a medium, I'll see television screens with somebody's past, present, and future life, as well as people on the other side. Likewise, they can see the same television screen, past, present, and future. So they'll see that information. But when they look into our realm, they see it's more like a step-by-step process where on that side, it's kind of like it's here. It's just a question of when this person's going to take that information, you know, because again, in this realm, it's more step-by-step, where in the other realm, it's like all around.
That makes sense.
And they're just waiting for, you know, that to hit this realm, if that makes sense. Kind of hard
and yet
to
it all
understand.
fits together.
Yeah, it does.
It all fits together like a little pretty little gift, right?
Only you. That's actually a good analogy.
Thank you. I try. So good point. We'll get to that and all of everything else you have in mind. Readings, special guests, all of that coming up with the Karyn Reece Show. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So we are so excited to have our next guest with us. This is huge. Their name is Deux Moi, and they are an Instagram account where people post and send anonymous submissions about celebrity gossip or anything. And they have over 1 million followers, and they're 100% anonymous, which is the craziest part. So we do have Deux on with us, the person who runs that account. However, the whole thing behind it is that nobody knows who Deux is. So it's like modern day Gossip Girl, I guess you can say. And Deux, the actual person that we're speaking to, their voice is going to sound super weird. And it's because it's going through a distorter. Because anytime Deux does interviews, they distort Deux's voice so that nobody actually knows the identity of Deux Moi. So Deux, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, ladies. So nice to speak with you.
Yes.
Howdy.
Yes, and we have, yes, I should have said.
Yes.
We have Deux's merch on, Je suis Deux Moi.
Oh, I love you guys.
Yes, we love our merch.
Too. Absolutely.
Oh my God, Deux is like one of our favorites. Karyn's been doing readings with her for, you know, their audience for about, I would say almost a year.
Yeah.
So we loved and we're gonna get right into it.
Yes, and we love everything about us. So speaking of which, what was the impetus behind Deux Moi? And you know, did you ever think that it would grow to the extent that it did?
No, it totally took me by surprise. I'm still every day when something happens or somebody reposts or I see the name of the account, you know, printed somewhere in an article, it still takes me by surprise. Like it's not lost on me that this was sort of just a phenomenon, like that it kind of happened out of nowhere. So it wasn't planned. I started posting the kind of content that I post now over COVID because like so many people, I was home not doing anything. And, you know, I had a really hard time mentally during, you know, the first couple months of quarantine. So anything to distract myself from what was going on, you know, helped me. So I would spend hours on Instagram running the account, like literally probably like 10 hours a day. Yeah, so that's how it started. That really was the motivation behind it, was a distraction.
And it's all over the place. I was actually watching Summer House on Bravo, and they posted about, or they sent in a post that they included in the show. And it was something that I obviously know Duh posted it because I saw it when Duh posted it. And then obviously I can tell the way her poster posted, it's very evident. Anyway, so I messaged Duh and I was like, is that a Duh screenshot that I just like saw on Summer House, not only once, but twice? So they say, they try to make it like anonymous, like, oh, we see it out there. I'm like, out there? No, they see it on Duh. Like, what do you, like, let's talk about like where it's really coming from. Like, it's coming from Duh, and there's only one. So anyway, sidetrack to that. So for anyone who doesn't know, like, Deux Moi is not your full-time job. You have a full-time job, but how many hours does it take to actually do Deux Moi in addition to your full-time job?
Well, a lot of times, like unbeknownst to my boss, I'm doing both jobs simultaneously.
Yeah.
So I would say the same. It's been really busy. I've been really blessed lately with a lot of opportunities. So I've been really, really busy. So I would say like I spend about back to what it was during quarantine, about 10 hours a day on the account.
Wow.
Yeah.
More ways than one.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
But you get
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and what you do is so unique. And I just think it's just so brilliant with what you've done. So, I mean, do you do this all by yourself, or do you have anybody like a publicist or an agent help you with any of your work?
Yeah, I have a team that does help me with things, but as far as reading all the DMs and posting, it's just me. So, that I think is really important. Like, I don't want people to think that they're talking to somebody different every time, I'm having a conversation with them in the DMs, because my relationships with my followers are the most important thing. Because without them, there wouldn't be an account. So, it's always been the same person in the DMs answering and talking to people. But yeah, there are people that help with other things behind the scenes. But being on Instagram is the most time. Well, I don't want to say the most because I don't want to diminish what everyone else does, but it is very time consuming. So
Oh, for sure. I don't know how you do it all day plus a full-time job. And to touch on, we know that it's you who's, GMing us back. And I think that is why, one of the reasons why this account works is because it's so authentic, because we know that you will be the one messing, whoever it is messaging us back, like you just take care of that. And so I think that even though we don't even know who you are, we've never seen your face, we've built a relationship with you in some weird way. Like, it's so crazy, right? To think that, which kind of leads me to my next question. I just think it's so incredible that you yourself have remained so under the radar, and yet your Instagram page has over 1 million followers, which is crazy.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Yes.
I mean, like, it's the biggest like oxymoron ever. But is it hard to kind of keep it a secret as to like who you really are? So, friendships, family, dating life, all that, like, how do you keep that a secret?
That's a good question.
yeah, it definitely has become more challenging. It's not hard to keep, a secret from the followers, because even if they knew who I was, they wouldn't really know who I am, right? So it's hard to keep from the people who actually know me in real life the fact that I run this account, because it's such a huge part of my life. Yeah. So I've definitely become a lot more reclusive since it's become more popular. And, I don't know if the friends that I don't keep in touch with as much anymore know that I even run this account, to be honest with you. And I definitely have asked my parents, who obviously know that I run the account, to not tell certain family members. So I've tried to keep the circle of people who actually know what I do and know the truth, behind everything, and sort of like some of the secrets, like, to a very, very small amount of people. So
Yeah,
I think that's Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think my personal life has suffered in a result from that. But, I felt like this was a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I felt like the people who were friends with me, before would understand if they knew what was going on.
That's actually smart. And I think what you do is so exciting. And let's face it, I mean, you receive all the tea, from, celebrity sightings to, the scandals to the juicy gossip. Is there any particular type of submission that you find that you like more than others, or a fave, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I love to find out about the minute details of a celebrity's day-to-day life. I want to know like what they're eating for breakfast, what nail salons, if they're not like, having private manicurists come to their house, what nail salons they're going to, like what brand underwear they wear. Like those are the things that I want to know so that, if I want to try them out, I feel like they're cool recommendations. So, that's why I like to post like stupid things like a celebrity's coffee order. Anyone could go into a Starbucks and order the same coffee order as Nicole Kidman and feel like a celebrity. For $5. It's the cheapest way to feel special. So that's what I like to know. But of course, I understand that there is an audience for the more salacious type of gossip. So I try to post things that I think that I might not necessarily be interested in, but the audience will be interested in.
That makes sense. And just a side note to that, can you explain, obviously we know, but like explain to our audience who doesn't know how they put in a submission? Like, do you have to have the inside scoop with like, be some artist publicist? Like, how does it all work? Like, how does it come to you? How do people post, end up as a post and stuff like that?
That's a really good question. No, you definitely don't have to be a publicist or have to work in the entertainment industry. I've received some of the best intel from people who have just observed celebrities in certain situations who aren't, in the industry. I will say that I'm lucky that my audience, like, I don't know what they do for a living. I don't really ask, but a lot of them do vacation at the same types of places that celebrities vacation to. They are going to the same restaurants. They are going to the same clubs. So that's why I get so many, really good sightings. But no, I mean, you could just DM me and it might seem like, something really trivial and stupid, but sometimes I need that type of information to figure something else out. Like, for example, like people will send me sightings all the time of celebrities walking on the street. Now, I don't necessarily post those unless it's like a huge celebrity or someone that somebody's been asking about, but I bank that information because then if I receive another tip about the same celebrity in another part of the country or another part of the world, like I'll remember like, no, that can't be them doing that because they're in New York. So and so just sent me a picture of them, on Greenwich Street. So any piece of information is banked and, used, you know, in real time at a later date, months from now. It's funny how information that I received months ago is relevant now. It always amazes me when that happens, but it does. So.
Side note to that, but like, you get so many submissions. How do you weed through the ones that are like, oh, they're accurate, or versus the ones like someone's just sending you this just because they want to start drama, or, they want to be relevant and be like, I got cited on Deux Moi, but it was like a fake thing. Like, how does that work?
Well, sometimes it doesn't work very well because I have posted submissions just as you described that have not been true. Honestly, I just try to use my instinct, or if it's something that I know everyone is dying to know, there are particular people that I could go to about certain celebrities and say, what have you heard about X, Y, and Z? So, there is like a handful of people that I can sort of verify information with. But for the most part, depending on what it is, I just try to use my instincts. I don't, I don't verify with this particular group of people often, mainly because I don't want to really be a pain in the ass, but I just try to use my instincts. But if it's something that everyone's dying to know, and even sometimes there's some things that like I'm dying to know that I'm like, I'll go to whichever person and be like, what do you know about this? Or can you tell? But yeah, a lot fake submissions slip through the cracks all the time. I say all the time, I'm not a human lie detector. Like I'm reading a email like everyone else and just trying to use my judgment. There's no way that I could know every single, thing about every celebrity on the planet. So
You're only human. So I
yeah,
get it.
exactly.
That's what makes your, platform so exciting because you really have interesting and you're always putting out information.
Duh, thank you so much for joining us today.
We love
you. We love everything that you do. And thank you for always being in our little camp here, on Green Room and all that. Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. It was great talking to you.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. As always, anytime Karyn's around, spirit's around. So if you'd like to enter to potentially win a reading to hear from your past loved ones or hear about your future, you may do so by entering on her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also enter on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. Or you can send her an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ KarynReece.com. In your submission, please make sure you put your first and last name, phone number, email address, and why you deserve a reading. So we have a very lucky winner with us who wrote to us on Instagram. Carrie, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Karyn, take it away.
My God, you're very popular, Carrie. Today we actually have your father coming in, just so you know. And he's talking about, were you thinking about taking the kids into swim lessons or you want to get them into swimming? Because your dad says that you've been talking about that. Is that something you've been looking at?
Yeah.
Oh, he gets a kick out of the kids. And by the way, your children see their grandpa too. So if they're ever like looking up or they're pointing or, something along that lines, your daughters are seeing your father. He said to tell you, I watch over all my grandkids and he keeps showing me, your children. He's also talking about other surprises down the road. He's laughing about that. What's the October or November connection?
Hello?
October, November, Show Me Fall. Was it his birthday or passing? Who's got like the October? Keep Show Me Fall.
That's, we share the same wedding date. So he died right after, a month after our wedding and like his anniversary.
Oh, that's interesting. He keeps drawing a heart too. He keeps drawing. He's laughing. He's doing very well, but he does visit you in your dreams a lot. Do you recall seeing your dad in your dreams? Because he does come to you. And what you can do to facilitate that is keep saying, I will remember seeing you, Dad. I will remember seeing you. He's also shown me Florida too. He's talking about some travel for you and your family going to Florida. Is that something that you have on the agenda? Because he's saying it's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of trips coming up in Florida. So,
well, your father's going to go with you, just so you know. He said, and I'm looking for time. And then he's also talking about, did you have some plumbing issues in your house or your kitchen or something, or you got a little issue going with the drain?
yeah. Yeah, we do. In my bathroom.
He said something about, some
The hair, it's clogging the sink.
Oh.
And Brian won't drain it, my husband.
Your poor husband, he's laughing about that. By the way, you and your husband have been married in past lives. That's what your dad just said to tell you.
Oh, wow.
And he keeps, hang on, Dad. Who likes peanuts or peanut butter or something like that? Is that you?
No, my girls just ate that upstairs for a snack.
Oh, earlier today?
Wow, you're on it.
He gets a big kick out of the kids. Boy, and they're really, really smart. You have very smart kids, just so you know. You're in trouble, your father said. Were you thinking about putting them into dance class and ballet?
Oh, what?
And dance class, gymnastics? Yeah. Putting them into a lot of classes. They're very, very good kids. How funny is that going to be? Your grandmother's here, just so you know, on your mom's side too.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah, and she's talking about, did you get some new bedding or you want a new comforter or something, or a new bed or something, or you need some new bedding or a new comforter? So did you put a new comforter on or new pillows or something? Or with one
Oh yeah, we just changed our sheets. We always had white and now we went to navy for the first time.
blue when I saw that. Yeah, she showed me like blue. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's haunted. So
We
she's
just changed our sheets.
oh, means your house is definitely haunted. I gotta laugh though. Do your daughters ever space out sort of like this or in their cribs point up, especially your little one?
Maybe the little one more than Chloe.
Because I see your baby like just staring and your father says she sees me. The kids actually see me. So
Yeah, they do.
by the way, he's also talking about you taking the kids to the zoo. Were you thinking about taking the kids to the zoo?
We literally said that this morning. I was like, should we take them to the zoo? And it just didn't work out. Like literally this morning.
Dad overheard that conversation. He says, yeah, take them to the zoo. What are you waiting for? Carrie says, it's good for
Oh,
to go ahead and go to the zoo. Your father's laughing about that.
that's so funny. We were gonna take them.
Isn't it nice to know your house is like invaded with your loved ones on the other side? New sheets, the zoo. You can't get a break.
Yeah.
He said, there are many times I come up and I give you a kiss on the cheek. So
Aw.
you think of your dad, Care Bear, you're actually picking up your dad, like right there. It's just your frame of reference. And my grandma says, no, you're not fat. So don't worry about that.
Oh my God, it's so funny because I like can't lose my last 20 pounds of baby weight. And it's so annoying.
Your father and your grandmother's laughing. No, you're not fat, Graham said. So
Oh, that's so sweet.
you look as beautiful as ever. So there you go. So don't worry about the baby fat, right? So you're looking at Florida again.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have a chance, I think, to look at Rhode Island, they said. Providence.
That's so weird. We were looking this morning on vacations to go for 2 nights and a drive to Rhode Island.
Oh. Your father just said that.
Oh my God, you're spot on this morning. Like everything you're saying is this morning happening.
Your father was with you this morning, and Graham, just so you know. His is
Wow.
Providence, Rhode Island. Yeah.
Yeah, that's we were looking at Newport or something, Rhode Island, but just to get away for 2 days, but without the kids.
You like eggplant, or is this Chloe's thing lately? Or who likes eggplant, chopped eggplant or caponata or something? Are you making like something with like eggplant?
But last night we had like fried eggplant chips.
Your father's talked about the eggplant that was good.
Oh my God, last night we ate it at dinner.
And then there's some kind of a name change they're talking about. So you might be changing part of your name or adding like another sub business, but it's like a business, maybe a little bit more of a second business name or something with your name that might add on to it, maybe not necessarily, business one and maybe business two, or like there's something or you might be like INC or something, you'll change. But I like what I see, and I see it being very successful, Care Bear. I also saw you in the future doing lectures and some seminars. So at some point into your future, it's like you'll do some things along that line, how to be, great, whatever, in your business, branding agent or however you want to, but it's very positive and very powerful. So yeah, dad and you definitely have a lot of that entrepreneurial. You are your father's like mini me in that sense, very minded.
Yeah.
And dad said he'll help you along the way too, without a doubt.
Brian's like, we were thinking about launching something and he's like, we got to just do it for her because he always wanted to invent something or launch something. And this is what you're saying. Cause just yesterday it was like, all right, well, if we do this, then it's for your dad. And I was like, yep.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah. The second business or with the new name or whatever. Yeah. That's it. He loves it.
Yeah.
Father. Well, Clary, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully this gave you the peace and the closure that you needed. Karyn, thank you. And Spirit, thank you.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. So if you would like to connect with Karyn to potentially hear about your future or hear from your past loved ones, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and on Twitter at Karyn Reece. And she's also on TikTok at Karyn Reece and the number 1. And you can also send her an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ KarynReece.com. And you can also call our office phone, 716-580-2520.
Ah,
Another show in the book.
I'm telling you, you're so good.
Thank you. You are too.
I know. And our last, earlier, we talked about time on the other side.
Right.
Well, there's no such thing as time. And it's
Right.
really interesting. And I know that in between states, you know, we go to the other side. But I will tell you, oftentimes when I have clients in for a private session, they too lose track of time.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you hear that a lot when they come out. It went by
I
really
do it
fast.
with you all the time. Like,
What do they
Yes.
say? Watch what you ask for. But isn't
Yes.
it true that it's almost like you get
Yes.
teleported because what's happening is you're, you know, zenning into that psychically. People don't even realize that. And that's why, you know, time goes so fast. Same thing when you're driving a car too. You kind of get to that point and you're like, what just happened? I thought I was at exit, you know, 18 and now I'm at exit 25, you know?
Yes.
So we lose track when we get to that alpha, beta, delta, theta stage, which actually takes us to the other side.
clients often say that all the time. Like, oh my God, 45 minutes is up already. Where did that go?
Time flies.
I know. And same with the show. So,
Yes, good point.
Same with the show. Thank you guys so much for watching yet another episode of The Karyn Reece Show. And we'll be back for more next week.